want to get to the good questions. I mean, when we're going to ignore the start of this pick and ban. We're hoping that Olaf or Lee Sin are banned away, but otherwise it's irrelevant. What we need to talk about is what is Shelly's sister's name?
Yeah, we deliberated and we decided on a couple of choices based on the
your lovely suggestions.
Reaction.
Yeah, your suggestions on Twitter. Thank you so much for that. But Brendan, what was your favorite? I mean, we had Kara, as in Carapace, and Shelly, you know, a name based on Shell. I like it. Kara, it's the same vibe. You've got Kelly, which is very similar to Shelly, and you've got Shirley.
I think Shirley takes the cake for me. I wasn't a big fan of Kara. I feel like it's not common enough of a name, and it's like you have to explain it a little bit, which I don't really like too much. So
yeah.
Shirley and Shelly, you know, they're so similar that I liked it. That would be my choice, but I like Shelly or Shirley, or not Shelly, Kelly. There's like so many different names now.
All right, well, hop on over to Twitter. I've put a poll there, and you guys can decide exactly what we're going to call her. As APK Prince, they decide, be gone with this Olaf Lee Sin shenaniganery, and we're going to pick up a Rek'Sai as well. Speaking of Shellys, this is a lady with a shell of her own. Croco says, I don't mind, though, as BRION Blade bring him in, and they put him on the Lee Sin.
Wait. What?
Yeah, they subbed out Doyle. So Doyle, we voted on Doyle as the MVP.
What?
And they decided to pick exactly the same champions.
Oh, so, yeah. So,
and still pick the Lee Sin. It's a very
also,
confusing
the
thing.
CG said that Hollow was coming in for Henna, and actually it's Henna. So I don't know what's going on.
I think it was just we had a different sub than we thought we were going to. I was very perplexed. I thought Doyle had a great game. I think maybe just the wrong players came out of the player room. I don't know. These
Imagine
things can
subbing
happen.
out the guy that should have been the MVP of game number 1.
Maybe he's just using the wrong
that.
accounts. I don't know. Maybe it's just a big problem. Well. But who knows? Who knows what's going on? I know that Croco is in, Doyle is out. Doyle had a great game. Let's see whether Croco can do the same.
I'm also really surprised that Olaf is... I thought it was only Olaf and Lee Sin that were allowed to be played in this entire tournament, but
that's
surprise,
Rek'Sai top.
Surprise. Yeah, I mean,
100%.
Might be right.
Yeah, we got Rek'Sai top. Kuma's going to pick Olaf, counterpick himself in the matchup against Lee Sin, and they're going to lose again.
Because there's only 2 choices.
That is the most beautiful timeline. That is just a beautiful timeline. APK have learnt something, though, and that is banning Misfortune is a good idea. They take her off the board. Henna's going to have to play something else, and I wasn't like astounded by how well Henna played. I think that he was on a champion that's very strong, but I want to see him step up a little bit more as far as his AD carry performance. And now he's going up against a very stock standard bottom lane here for APK Prince in the Varus and Tahm Kench. It's unlikely that Varus is going to be going top lane.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. Varus Tahm Kench just a little bit too stock standard there for the bottom lane, as we did have Zoe banned here. And how about Alawi back for Ixu?
Yeah,
it's happening.
My boy Pulse
should be the Aatrox here.
My boy Pulse is somewhere being very, very happy right now, as his tentacle mistress on the top side of the map is going to make her debut in the KeSPA Cup. Henna is going to go back to an old favorite in the Xayah, has been seeing basically 0 success in the Demacia Cup. Her win rate is awful over there, but still has been played a lot. And it's going to be the Xayah Rakan. The Lovers duo is going to make their way back. And BRION Blade, they only change up one thing, and it's only because they have to, and it's their bottom side of the map.
That they will. Xayah Rakan looks like the likely choice down here, although it could be a swapperino here away from Rakan. No, Rakan will be picked up. And now we do just have the mid lane here for the side of cover, although I feel like I always have to hold my breath when it is APK.
Yeah, who knows? That Kled could be going almost anywhere. I think it's likely that you're not going to see the Alawi leave the top side of the map, so this should be the mid lane. Of course, Pantheon's been played in top, in mid, in a few different places, but the Rise is going to be the settled-on pickup here, and I actually like it. I feel like this composition does have a hell of a lot of 4-1 potential because of the safety that you add with the Tahm Kench, the fact that you've got that Tremor Sense from the Rek'Sai to make sure that you're not getting flanked. I think that APK have certainly given themselves a lot of options, and they haven't tried to overdo it, you know, with the mind games.
Yeah.
They certainly mind game themselves into a lost game in game number 1. And now Ixu's going to have a lot of that lane dominance. I love it. You know, we're two play-by-plays, right? So we struggle a little bit when it comes to trying to be an analyst. It is very easy to be an Alawi analyst because you say, laning phase, she's good. Outside of laning phase, quite difficult to make work unless you can land a multi-man ultimate. And playing around the Alawi is how you play against her. But these are going to be your rosters. And very, very standard from BRION Blade, APK Prince with a pretty nice 4-1 composition with a lot of shenanigans that they can utilize with the Realm Warp, things like that in order to get over to where Ixu is. So protection for the Alawi that does want to be split pushing the majority of the game.
Yeah, that is true. I'm a big fan of BRION Blade's composition, actually. Very stock standard. Something we've seen many times before. Has a lot of power in the early game at 1 and 2 items, and even some scaling with that Xayah Rakan in the bottom lane.
Really nice stuff. Let's see whether BRION Blade can close it out with a 2-0, whether APK Prince are going to prove themselves worthy of their LCK spot for 2020. Let's get into the game.
BRION Blade! Hana, 2, set! BRION Blade fighting!
APK Prince, Hana, 2, set! APK fighting! Oh no.
Oh god, that...
Damn.
Fan
I feel... Yeah, I think APK Prince fans are just losing it just a little bit.
Maybe he's just a little bit down and depressed after that first game. I know I would be. Hopefully they can turn it around in this one. And they also, you know, they mixed up their composition. It's not Vayne Veigar Rise anymore. Definitely a nice little switcherino.
Ooh, our first pause.
Oh, baby.
How did we go this long without a sepia mode? This is crazy. All right, this is the podcast that you guys have all been waiting for. And, you know, Brendan and I, we don't get an opportunity to podcast together all that often. In fact,
it never
basically
happens.
never.
No, we casted a game called Hearthstone in the Nexon Arena before, and it went very smoothly. I don't remember there being very many pauses. We didn't really get time to talk or anything.
Is it even possible to need a pause in a Hearthstone game? Not entirely sure.
I don't know.
But we didn't get one. I've watched a fair bit of Hearthstone in my time, and I haven't witnessed too many pauses, but we should message Frodown or something like that, or Kibler or something.
Try to get an expert opinion.
And just ask whether or not there has been many pauses, because basically every commentator in esports has a horror story about pauses.
Oh, yeah.
When was your most recent one, Brendan?
Oh, I had a I had a very recent one, actually, when I was casting FIFA about 4 days ago. Me and another one of our colleagues out here, G-Clef, we were on camera, actually in the Nexon Arena, for about 40 minutes straight. And there was 1 5-minute break in the middle, I think, and then we returned to like another 20-minute delay where we were just literally sitting there doing nothing, and they did not take the camera off of us. And that makes it even worse because you know you're on camera, you're conscious of it, and it just makes it a lot more pressure. And it was not fun. It was definitely not fun.
Do you know what? It wasn't fun for me either, Brendan, because Achilles and I were sitting at our favorite bar waiting for you to come and join us for Wing Night.
Oh, yeah.
And you just weren't there. You had to give us that
and then the
disappointing
day went, like,
information.
2 hours later than it was supposed to.
You're like, I should be done. I'll probably get there. And I turned up late, and there was no Brendan. He's like, I'm sorry, I think I'm dead. And here we go. We're straight back into the game. So certainly not the 45-minute situation. This one's going to be working out quite nicely. Mr. Valdez?
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of time to really get into it.
I think your pause quota has been used up for the week. We weren't allowed to have a long enough one.
Sometimes it does feel that way, and then sometimes, I forget what patch it was, but in the LCK, in 2019, I think it was, didn't we have like a whole couple of weeks where we were on one patch with like a ton of problems?
Oh, yeah.
You remember the one where it would like lag with Talia's wall and stuff?
Yeah, and the Trundle pillar problem as well, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I remember that.
And we just
Do you remember when you just had like toilet issues all the time?
Yeah, it's true. I was going to mention that actually because we're here in the next arena again.
Yep.
The throwback to the 2017 and 18 LCK with SPO TV.
I think that was
toilet issues, chair issues, and then another chair issue.
I don't remember who was producing that time, but they certainly had some fun with their lower thirds that they were giving to the fans.
I know the guy. I know the guy who made the famous toilet issue.
Absolutely beautiful.
I think he now actually works with BRION Blade.
Oh, really?
So funny the way that works out. BRION Blade is playing now in the next arena.
Well, let's see what is going to remain true. Is it going to be the power of Wise's Aatrox, or is it now going to be Ixu on one of his Dark Technology picks, a favorite of his in the Alawi, and one of the picks that actually allowed APK Prince to qualify into the LCK. I didn't mention it before because, of course, the Volley Bear is a more fun one, as we do have a bit of an attack here. Kuma, he doesn't have the Hail of Blades, so not going to be that much kill threat, but even with the Conqueror, still going to be able to bully Croco away from his Wraith camp or his Raptor camp, depending on which season you've played League of Legends. I apologize, I am an old man, and sometimes the old names stick.
Yeah, LS still calls the Crooks golems, so
yeah.
We have a lot of those old men here on the cast.
I mean, it's when
Korea.
you start calling Gromp Wraith, that's when you got a problem. Because like I don't even think that was around for very long. You remember where there was like a small Wraith before the Rift got changed?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think that was only there for like half a season or something.
Yeah, it's been a while. You remember when the red and blue buffs used to have little guys that were
little
with them
friends.
Too? Yeah, to keep them company. Now they're all.
Do you know what? Okay, I've got a trivia question for you. What were the two little guys with the Brambleback called?
Oh, they had names?
They had names.
I didn't know they even had names.
They did.
I don't know. What were they?
They were called Cinderlings.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they lasted for 4 patches or
When
something,
you
and then they were
asked
removed.
what their names were, I thought you were going to say like Gilbert or something.
Oh, no. This is their actual names.
Okay.
Actual
Cinderlings.
real names. As there is the E coming down, of course, the max here for the Alawi. As Croco going to make his way in. He's going to be able to get a flash down here, but is once again going to have his spirit thrust out of him, which is exactly what the Alawi loves to do. There's just so much Void Tentacle going on here towards the top side. Decent little knock up there, but you can see Secret. He presses his Devour button, and everything is going to be fine. Kuma going to spot this Lee Sin and looks for another knock-up, finds it there. The flash has to be used, and another steal comes in from Kuma. He's so aggressive, and Ixu is landing all of these E's, man. It's really frustrating.
Oh, and Kuma's not done yet either. The tentacles getting in the mix. They're looking for a dive.
Stopping the backs. Good double knock up there. First blood does go down, but immediately gets answered. Ixu now outside of turret range, looking for Wiser. The autos are going to be there. The Conquerors on both sides working out as there's the tentacle smack. Doesn't have the flash available, but oh man, that test of spirit was so damn close. And it is going to be Wiser surviving.
It looked like it went through him.
Yeah.
But man, really got to give props to Kuma. He's just all over Croco. Sorry.
Croco's Modern Life right there.
Yeah, that's a cool name.
And also, Rocco's Modern Life was actually quite depressing, so it does sort of work out for how Croco's time has been here at the moment. As you can see, I believe, just stole that one away. And then Croco finds himself up a lane without paddle. Terrible reference, but I think it sort of works.
And then Kuma comes up here, and they decide they want to go for the double dive. Would have been nice if Rek'Sai could knock up more than one person still, but can only do the one. So gets the Lee Sin, but then Aatrox is available to do the damage and trade back. So nicely done there in the dive still. First blood will go to the side of APK Prince. They get the priority there as well. And now the Rakan was in the Dragon Pit. Not sure what he was doing there. Probably just trying to throw down a ward as the bottom lane is not doing so well here for BRION Blue.
Yeah, having a little bit of a check-in on the bottom side. APK Prince have found their rhythm a little bit down here. Hybrid just pretty psyched to be back in a lane that he understands. I believe. I think all of APK Prince just feeling pretty happy that finally they get to actually play the game that they were destined to, as Minute decides that he doesn't want to go back home and isn't going to join on with Hollow.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Back again. It's Kuma.
Wait, why is Hollow So Henna was subbed out. We just didn't we didn't have his name. That is Hollow. What is happening?
Okay. Yeah, so it
I am
wasn't
so
Henna.
How is his name in the
pick ban?
pick ban?
I don't know. That's really weird.
Oh god. Am I having an aneurysm?
That's weird.
That is so strange.
I thought that would only happen if like he was playing on his account, which I don't think is even allowed. But then
how can you switch the name
you
back
switch
in the
name
loading
in the
screen?
game. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Weird.
Okay.
We're living in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, there's some very
KeSPA
strange
Cup.
stuff happening. But that's because it's a beautiful time. It's a time for magic.
Yeah.
And Christmas does bring a lot of magic. There are Christmas miracles, all sorts of things. And our Christmas miracle was Henna being transformed into Hollow and actually being ahead in farm, despite it looking like Hybrid and Secret really were having a good time down there. So pulling it back, the Lovers Duo working things out. Ixu, we'll see whether he can get control of this lane. Has it in a good position now, but is struggling to keep up against Wiser, despite getting a little bit more attention there from Kuma and having his jungler ahead as well. I feel like things are going to get better here for the Alawi before they get worse. But we'll see how it goes. Of course, still, Wiser going to be quite strong, especially in team fights on the Aatrox. Both of the... I feel like Aatrox is similar to Alawi in a lot of ways, but just has a lot more uses, you know? Like, they both do a lot of teamfight AoE damage, things like that. They still do have dueling potential. But Alawi's certainly more stuck in her lane and stuck in a position.
Aatrox is a lot more reliable, that's for sure, especially with flash engages. But we are going to have a fight here over Shelly.
Yep, Ixu going to throw down the ultimate. A lot of damage, but can't heal up enough. It is going to be a steal away of the Rift Herald as cover comes on forward, looks for more. 2 assists somehow went over to Ixu. I was distracted by that, and now Cover's trying to outplay this moment. He does pick up Eye of the Herald. However, he doesn't pick up his remaining life bar. So certainly a win as far as kills for BRION Blade, but APK do get that purple aura.
That was a wonky fight. You could see that APK were going all in on the Rift Herald, and, you know, I think we saw this before. It's not really... I don't know. It doesn't seem to be worth it nowadays to do that. You just get the enemy team so far ahead, but it looked like there was a smite missed at the same time. Just barely Kuma was able to last hit it with the eye in from behind, but Rek'Sai, so squishy now, goes in there against Aatrox and Syndra, and that's just a huge ball of damage that you're not really going to be able to survive through. So a lot of sacrifices just to pick up Shelly's eye, which seems a lot less valuable, at least early on, but if you get the 2 of them, can be better. And now we have BRION Blade ahead by more than 1,000 gold. You have a Syndra that's already 2-0. The Aatrox is Wiser again, and he's 2-0-2. So this is looking much, much better for BRION, who again get an early lead, but are not going up against nearly as much scaling.
And once again, know exactly what APK Prince want to do. You can see they're going to say thanks for the leash as this Mountain Drake going down to about 1,500. Kuma actually getting back in there. Scatter the Weak lands as that is going to be Drake secured. Great knock-ups there, and the quickness doing a whole bunch of work as it is APK that are able, in the end, to turn it around. Dragon traded for 1 kill. Flash forward, Tongue Lash. Slows down Crocker with safeguards away. Hollow has to flash as well and doesn't have Featherstorm available anymore. He should be going down here, and Secret laps him up for a well-deserved kill. Supportal combat well and truly won there by Secret. Oh, it's not. Supportal combat has to be support versus support. But it is certainly a bloodthirsty support moment. Sorry, Doa. We are going to have budget Doa available, but unfortunately Doa not going to be here, and he'd be very disappointed in me if he was listening right now.
Yeah, budget Doa and dollar store Doa, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a good play to follow up there from APK Prince. I really don't know why, though, the Realm Warp was backwards and not forwards. Seemed like they were totally fine to go in there. It was a 4-on-3, if I'm not mistaken, and they had the advantage. They could have pressed it and maybe picked up an extra kill. The only thing that BRION Blade really got out of this was the Dragon, which is kind of nice. But, definitely the kill is going to be better here for APK.
Yeah, I do like the target selection there. Make sure they get rid of the Syndra before anything happens, but it just took them a little bit too long. You know, Hybrid off to the back, and you're right. I think the Realm Warp was an odd decision, and it was an attempted rotation down from Ixu as well, who was just unable to actually get there in time. But Secret being able to lock down a second kill, certainly not bad news here, and does even things out very much so, despite BRION having that Drake advantage. So a little bit of a lead, theoretically, here for BRION Blade, but not sort of the blowout that we saw at the beginning of game number 1. Hybrid slowing down Minute there, does get the knock-up onto Secret, which was cute, and Battle Dance with the extended range, considering the Lovers duo, is going to be a very comfortable exit.
Yep, that was the key there, able to get out to safety, although the bottom lane once again has been leaning towards APK, especially after that one fight down there. Recall comes in from Ixu as Croco. Man, every time I read that name, I just I want to bring out the Australian accent.
Croco. Yeah, good old Croco down there.
Croco down in the jungle.
I don't know why I think that I have to change my accent to do an Australian accent
From an Australian
when I have
accent
an Australian accent.
A thick Australian accent.
Yeah, a more Australian accent. There we go.
To make it more obvious. Yeah.
It's like, actually, I don't think that I'm Australian anymore.
Yeah,
I've been living in Korea for a while.
We've all kind of lost our accents to a certain extent. I used to have a little bit more of a New York accent, but it's mostly just flattened out now.
Yeah, I feel like we've all just gotten a bit weird. We can be identified for where we're from slightly, but it's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, you really have to know what you're looking for when you're listening
yeah.
to the voices.
There's a lot of people. I've been asked whether I'm British, American, everything while I'm here in Korea, and not just by Koreans as well. So we've got a bit of a gank here into the mid lane. Jin taking a fair bit of damage. Yeah, Rek'Sai is very squishy right now, but she still does a fair bit of damage. Kill locked down there by cover, and APK Prince actually finding something with nothing in return for BRION Blade.
Yeah, Rek'Sai turns out to be pretty good against the Syndra. Just able to get in from behind. He was looking for that angle multiple times, you'll remember. Got on top of Croco at the Raptors early on in the game. Looked for it, but got spotted the second time. And third time's the charm, I suppose. Finally picks up that Syndra to help his mid laner get ahead here in that lane. Just going to be the kill. No other objectives taken.
Well, there's going to be the knockup. Q is still going to register, though, so Hollow and Minute not going to be too happy. I want to have a look at the item build here from Hybrid as well. I mean, it's looking like the start of what we've seen popularized for center in the 80 carry role with who was it? It was Deft, I think, that started building a lot of Manamune, even if he's not going to go lethality Varus, and this isn't going to be lethality. This is going to be Manamune, I believe, into Rage Blade or something else like that. Still with the auto attacks, but being able to throw down more of those skills as well. And you can see that's a recurve bow, so I think I have been confirmed in my suspicions. Feels like a KeSPA build of old.
Yeah, some pretty cool stuff. This is one of the things we mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast that we wanted to see, how the Korean players were going to react to the new patches and the preseason, and what was their take on some of the new stuff here in the preseason. So fun to see them tinker and toy with some of the builds that we do have in other regions and on the solo queue ladder and all that good stuff. Rift Herald here was being taken by Rek'Sai and was actually snatched up for APK. Infernal now on the Rift here. Both of those teams were eyeing it, but BRION Blade not going to get the inner track on it just yet.
Oh, Cover's going to face check. There's the kickback. Croco knew exactly where he was, but the Devour to deny the ultimate. And Cover not going to get stunned up, but there's the quickness, and there's a dead rise. Just the last bit of damage is going to be enough there as the Syndra takes them down. Weiser now finds his way into the fight, but they're all spread, and Chains of Corruption is going to keep him rooted in place. Ixu now just taking damage from the Dragon, but do they have enough damage to burst him down? I think the answer should be yes, as he is going to get taken. Hollow securing that kill in the end, and BRION Blade just navigating the aggro far better than APK were, and they'll be able to grab an Infernal Drake on top of it. We'll see what our Rift is going to look like, whether it's going to be Ocean or Cloud, and we are going to have a Cloud Rift, so some speed boosts hanging around in the jungle.
Cool, we get something different, but unfortunately for you APK fans out there, not too much different for them. More losing here in the team fights. You'll notice it was a good start here, but the Rise actually takes forever to go down because they get the nice combo down and you're thinking, oh, probably going to die, but Tom Kench is a champion, so they take away that Rise DPS early on. You'll notice that Rek'Sai also getting very low. So, you're behind, but then Ixu just goes balls to the wall. He is not backing off. And yes, he gets a kill, but different from Aatrox, he doesn't have a lot of mobility. You get stuck in there afterwards. You're not that tanky yet. And yes, you got the kill, but then you baited in another person, another couple of people from your team to stick around after flashing in to make sure you're going to get the one kill even though your team already lost the fight. You just can't be doing that. You're going to give up a lot of gold, and you're going to leave objectives on the field. So it looked good in the beginning, and we thought maybe Ixu was going to pull off the 1v5, but he ended up just baiting his team.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. He actually got the flash ultimate, or ult flash. I didn't quite see exactly the order that he threw it down. Ult flash is generally the way you're supposed to go with the leap of faith, but he landed onto 3 people. But the problem is he's like he's the rotating player, and you never should be when you're the Alawi. You need to have tentacles in place in order to multiply your damage. Cover's dead. Nope. Croco decides he doesn't want to throw anything down. I believe
Croco's
on cooldown.
passive Lee Sin.
He is. They should be able to take this out of turret in the mid lane, though, eventually. Maybe the next wave, because that's a Rise that is going home, and Kuma was on vision. And so they should be able to just speed through this wave with the wave clear of good old Syndra, and things should be pretty comfy. Top lane turret does go down in favor of Ixu. And the lead for BRION certainly isn't there at any comfortable level right now. Only 1,000 gold, but they do have 2 Drakes and 2 pretty strong ones as well, despite the slight nerf to Infernal and Mountain on this patch. Still going to be something that APK needs to be concerned about. And it's the Earth, Wind, and Fire as well.
Yeah.
I love it. So good.
With Wind and Fire coming in here. And, yeah, big rotation here into the mid lane to deny any pushes from going down. And I think we are going to enter a little bit of a lull state. We don't have that Cloud Drake for about 2.5 minutes here. And,
does that mean that I should check in on my poll?
Yeah, check the poll.
To see,
Let's see what they're thinking.
What do we got? What do we got, guys? I didn't actually put a time limit on it. Unfortunately, because you know, I just don't have didn't have a lot of time to write it out. So let me just have a look.
Yeah, take a look.
Ooh, Shirley is winning, 44%.
Oh, that's close though.
Yeah. We got
Shirley and Kelly neck and neck right now.
Kara, like, not exactly working out here, but there's a lot of people voting for Team Shirley. I personally like saying Shelly and Shirley. It feels good, and so I'm into that.
Shelly and Kelly, though, it sounds like a sitcom. You know? Doesn't sound that bad.
Seth, so Achilleos wants Harold to come back.
Harold,
he actually,
I was a big fan of Harold, actually.
Yeah, he thinks it's Shelly's brother that pops out second.
Shelly and Harold?
Yeah,
no, I
Shelly
was
and Harold.
thinking just Harold and, like, Gordon or something. I don't know.
But it's Shelly's identical twin sister.
Yeah, I know.
So I think, yeah, I don't know. Although Harold is, I always did like Harold.
Harold was just so clever because it sounds like Harold.
Is it
Get
clever
it?
or is it obvious? I'm not entirely sure. But I was very happy with it.
Yeah.
What APK Prince are not happy with is the state of this game and the state of the series thus far. However, this could be an opportunity. Huey's going to miss there, though. Good stun coming out from Jin, as he's now looking for more. Okay, that is the Void Rush coming through. A lot of the extra damage now missing, but Kuma is going to survive. Meanwhile, elsewhere, APK are once again closing in, and Holo is going to be the sacrificial lamb, I believe, as the Leap of Faith comes forward. This is the Thunderdome that you did not want to enter, and just as I was talking against APK Prince, they come alive and finally get a gold lead, albeit a tiny one.
Yeah, they're ahead by about 100, or they were, until the turret did go down. Notice that Aatrox is up on the top side, and Syndra was going for a split push, but you can't get caught like that, and if you do, then your team should also not get caught halfway up the lane. That's going to be a couple of mistakes that lead to APK having a chance here to take down the Baron.
Well, Wiser could get in there, has a lot of AoE potential, of course, as Minute trying to dive forward. Battle Dance keeps him relatively safe, but now the Baron goes down very low. Not going to be stolen. The smite is true, I believe, down to about 100 health there as Wiser. He doesn't have his rebirth anymore, and he's going to die even over the wall in the Baron pit. Bad meets worse here for BRION Blade.
Yeah, that was a bit of a rough one. Not sure about the Aatrox. That was kind of a bit of a facepalm moment. Going for the steal, got punished for it, and in the meanwhile, BRION, you know, they are going to give up that Baron, that is for sure, but at the same time, they're trying to go for this Cloud Drake. Notice that APK, though, coming in here, and I think the Alawi does have her ultimate, so got to be careful grouping up like this.
Yeah, Tested Spirit does come down. That is going to be the Drake lockdown by BRION Blade. That could be good news, as the Blade Call is fantastic, but not quite enough. BRION Blade still are going to suffer at the hands of APK Prince and just their better team fighting in the last, 5 minutes of this game? It was a huge turnaround here for APK, who I think have finally realized that maybe they'll lose this series. Hang on, we need to get serious.
Finally, let's get in there and start winning some fights. As they do so, they find the Syndra. A great play to pick her off and then go into multiple picks into getting the Baron. The Cloud Drake play from BRION, a bit of a head scratcher, but I don't know. You know, that buff, the Mountain Soul buff, or not the Mountain Soul, but the Cloud Soul.
Dragon Soul, yep.
Dragon Soul of Cloud is what I was looking for.
The Cloudy Dragon Soul.
Yeah. My brain's a little bit cloudy right now. Take a look at how much damage Hollow just took, just straight up from one combo from the Alawi. Before the team fight even really starts here.
He had his spirit tested twice in a row, actually.
Yeah.
It
can't just be running into the river if you don't have vision down. And
he took the test, failed, took the test again, and failed again, is how that one worked out. I think it's just the wrong course for you, my friend. Hollow should probably be moving away from Ixu. I remember there was a jungle in a certain massively multiplayer online game during expansion called Legion, where the last boss had tentacles that were basically the same as the Lowies. And I play a hunter, and I used to die to that boss all the time.
Not a big fan of Alawi then, I guess?
No, I love Alawi, because if I play her, then I can't get hit by the tentacles, and when I do, it's okay. Here we go. Kuma is going to go golden, but the rest of his team not going to be there to try and save him as he's doing his best to escape. Oh, right into the open maw of the Tarmkench. Sir Thomas always there as an ambulance for his allies and saves the life of his little Rek'Sai. Kuma goes back to base, tail between his legs, and now looking to try and finish off, I believe, his Guardian Angel.
Mm-hmm. They did get something for it, actually, funnily enough. Ixu teleported in, and now they might get cover up here on the top side.
Yeah, trying to find cover. He did have the Seraph's shield, but that is now gone, and he can't get any follow-up damage. Ixu misses the Test of Spirit. That may actually be a big deal, as Greyhound's still available for Secret. Eats it, isn't going to survive. Double kill now coming in for Hollow. This could be the answer back from BRION Blade, and it is. Wiser locks down another one. 3 dead, on the side of APK Prince and Hybrid. Not long for this world, but that was just a slight move back there for a minute, who knew that he had to respect the potential damage from Hybrid.
See,
he doesn't have his ult, though.
This is why I told you to bring your saxophone, man. We needed you to play this during the Akity sax moment.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. There's the engage 1 versus 3 from Kuma.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, big play.
Woo!
Wow. That was somebody sign that guy up.
This is a game of League of Legends.
Yeah, you know. By the way, they have another jungler on the roster. His name is, you may have heard of him, Flawless. No, but he's not going to play today. APK might be knocked out without Flawless even playing a game. And yeah, I mean, the game is not Kuma's fault, of course, but the game is just kind of getting out of hand, and it's obvious that these players are just not holding on to their mentals very well. This is going way too out of hand. Everybody's making mistakes left and right. Like, why is Rise by himself this far down the lane?
With absolutely no vision anywhere.
And their team is chasing them through the jungle. You know they're going to be there. It's like they said, no, we can fight this. And that's why he stayed, but he got baited by some kind of bad call from his team. And then the rest of them got baited and they all died.
The bad call was, we have Abyssal Voyage. Let's do it. And of course, Ixu's just happy that everyone's stacked on top of themselves. Unfortunately, he's extraordinarily behind, and therefore is not going to be able to offer the kind of support that they're looking for. I mean, he's 60 CS behind this 4-1-7 Aatrox, who is so incredibly huge. Almost has Steric's Gauge completed for his third full item with a luxury Executioner's Calling on top of that. And it means that Ixu, who will be relying a lot on that Tentacle Smash healing, especially during Leap of Faith, is just not going to be able to if he gets touched by the Aatrox. And Aatrox has a heck of a lot of AoE himself, so it's going to be very difficult to avoid having that healing reduction available. There's now cover, diving on forward, but the Infernal Chains are going to come down. Now Wiser finds himself in the middle of the fight. Chains of Corruption are in there, and APK keeping themselves alive for now. It's going to be a disengaged kick, but not enough to keep the Lee Sin alive. And Hollow, one auto, one anything would kill him, but he's able to create the distance. The Prey Seeker doesn't get there as Wiser looking to try and utilize the Death's Dance healing in order to keep him alive against Kuma, but he's unable to. And Jin finds himself on the wrong side of this fight. Scatter the Weak's going to stun up Ixu, and now with 4 members closing in, make that 5. Jin should be going down, but he's trying to take someone with him. He doesn't have Unleashed Power, and oh my good, is he going to be able to do it? The minions are going to be the biggest problem. The Devour on absolutely the wrong target as Hollow comes in from the side. A double kill for the Varus. Make that a triple. I have absolutely no idea what's going on, but it's a quadra kill for APK Prince's 80 carry, and I want out.
Yeah, this is when you pull that escape shoot. You just go through the floor. You're like, I'm done with this cast. What is going on? Oh, man. Oh, Jin running by himself. Just let him run by himself. You don't have to all suicide in there on the bottom side of that.
And Hollow, the assassin Xayah from the side, just walks into auto attacks from a fully stacked Rage Blade.
How did they not do any damage when they dived in here?
That's a really good question. I mean, Hollow did about 1, 2, 3 auto attacks. And now he's running for his life. I think that it was largely about cover, having the enemy team in a great position to layer the spell flux down and just guarantee so much AoE damage. And this chase potential is actually pretty huge, as Jin flashes the opposite direction, understanding that cover was in that pit, ready to kill him. But this was, an opportunity. This was a teleport flank from a Xayah to try and join a 2 versus 4.
Look at him charging and he's like, I got this.
Yeah.
Hold my beer. I'm getting in there. Oh, man. Wow. Well played by the Rek'Sai as well to survive, flashed away. And,
is that the end of the game?
Yeah. We decided to call it there, guys. We just decided we couldn't take it anymore, and we just decided that was the end.
You know that you can't sub players mid-game. You can't do that. Hardware issue. Is that
another issue?
Is that hardware?
This is definitely a SPO broadcast.
Mm-hmm. Where is the hardware, though?
Good
question. You'd think about that being on the computer, but maybe it's something else. No, that's not true. Looking to see whether we can get this fixed as soon as possible, guys, and then we'll get back in there and see who's going to be able to take this game. It is a mess, right? We have to be honest. We have to be absolutely honest, right? This game is not exactly the highest tier of League of Legends. However, it is very close.
Yeah, it's actually
honestly,
really close.
I don't know who's going to win. I mean, the Varus just got a quadra kill after they basically entered the last team fight and lost almost everyone for free. Now it's AP Varus, actually. So it is going to be building. There are multiple ways that you can go. You can finish the Rage Blade and then go Hurricane for, the extra AoE damage and things like that. Or you can go into Nash's Tooth, which is exactly what this particular Varus has decided to do. So it's the AP variant. They thought maybe cover didn't have quite enough available. As we're going to jump back into the game, and looks like APK Prince are looking for their second Baron. They also denied Dragon Soul, guys, which is very important. Able to lock down that Cloud Drake in front of BRION Blade. But looks like Croco not going to be able to do anything. This is certainly Croco's modern life. They're all just taking his stuff.
Oh boy. You know that Cloud Dragon Soul buff would actually be really nice. It's 10% movement speed across the board, and then when you ultimate, you get a
30% movement speed boost
for 3 seconds, not 30 seconds. That would be insane. And it's really good because I think, you know, we saw the last team fight where, you know, Rakan goes in and the Aatrox is right in the front line. He's like ready to go in. And then they just kind of get zoned because the front line is too tanky, and Ixu actually does a lot of damage alongside Ryze. And they have a really nice front line for the Varus. So I don't think that BRION Blade can really just run at APK and expect to win a team fight. I think they either need to kite them well and, you know, get a couple of stuns off, some poke damage with Syndra, Aatrox, Xayah, and then, like, get them on the retreat, and you can kind of chase them down pretty well with your comp. And the Cloud Dragon Soul would be perfect for that exact style of play. So, you know, you were saying it was really important. I think it really is, especially when these two comps go head-to-head.
Not to mention the fact that Jhin can press ult and then run away, which is largely what you want to do. You want to get down all of your spells, put everything on cooldown, and then run the heck out of the fight as a burst mage like the Syndra. Not to mention Hollow, the amount of extra maneuverability that you will have. I believe you have a decreased amount of the speed because, of course, you self-slow when you press the Feather Storm, but as you press it at the very beginning, that's when you proc the movement speed. Yeah. So you do have a little bit more in order for extra mobility. And speaking of mobility, World Ender is disgusting with the Cloud buff. You go so quickly when you press R. So Wise is going to be very happy about it. I feel like there are so many champions that benefit from that particular Dragon Soul very, very effectively. So.
Aatrox is definitely top 5 benefiting champions from movement speed. So I'm glad you do point that out, because getting an Aatrox in the right position is exactly what you need, which is why Flash Aatrox plays are so game-changing, because he puts himself in the right position. But if he can just have that extra speed, then he can potentially do it without a Flash, or at least make it easier for him to get in the right position. So... And again, the Dragon Soul, once it does get taken by one team, that is when the Elder does spawn. So there is the potential, you know, if this next dragon that was coming up would be an Elder, if BRION Blade got a pick, they could potentially take the Elder and then push to win the game, because I feel like that Elder Drake is quite a good buff on this patch. Oh, very nice. With the
burn damage and the execute and extra tankiness. Yes, please. Feels good. That is basically ticking all the boxes in my book when it comes to dragon buffs. 5,000 gold is not insane. However, and we've got 2 seconds left on the Baron buff, not exactly the most gigantic power play, because APK already had a pretty decent lead. You've now got some bounties that have been stacked up as well that BRION Blade can cash in on as well if they're able to win another fight. And Hollow, despite the fact that he's had some rough performances, does now have himself a QSS. He's got a CS advantage and still has some kills to his name as well, plus the Infinity Edge Essence Reaver and Rapid Fire Cannon. That is the core for the Xayah, and does also have some of that utility, as well as now a Mercurial Scimitar on top of it, which is sort of like an Elder Drake buff. Sorry, a Dragon Soul Cloud buff in an item, which is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Actually, no, I think that if you get Cloud Dragon Soul, it's almost like having a Ginsu's Rage Blade, because that actually gives you out-of-combat movement speed as well now.
Yeah.
And so then you get the active, and it lasts a little bit longer. But otherwise, it's just the same.
We've been really talking about and highlighting this Dragon Soul buff. It's obvious that both teams find it to be extremely important. So you'll notice that BRION is trying to push and gain position here in the mid lane and then rotate on over to the Dragon Pit. But again, I don't think they can take a straight-up fight against APK. They need to kite them and get picks off and force, you know, Rek'Sai to go too deep into a team fight, bait him in, and then maybe get Wiser into the back line on that Aatrox because he is pretty damn fed in this game at the same time. Nice pull here by the Alawi to get it started, though. The kiting is being won right now by APK.
And does have the Sterix Gauge actually now on cooldown as well, so Wiser not going to have that extra tankiness and extra shield for this next ensuing fight, and another Dragon Soul will be denied. At this rate, APK are going to be able to lock one down, as the next cloud will be coming up. How cloudy could it possibly be this game? In fact, it can get 2 more Drakes of Cloud.
That's exactly the amount.
Yep,
The question is immediately answered.
Yep.
Five.
It can get 5 Cloudy.
Yes.
That's what it can get. Yep.
Exactly that amount only.
In fact, for any game.
Yeah, for any game, the maximum is 5. I'm glad we figured that out here.
How sad.
In the preseason.
Yeah. Life is hard when the answer is right there and it's very obvious. Zonya's completed for Hybrid. I like that. Truly, he is living up to his name.
Might as well. I mean, he's going to be unkillable. He's got a
double
Tom Kent's right
stopwatch
behind him. He has double stopwatch, as you're pointing out. Even if Wiser does get into the back line, the target can't really be the Varus because he's just not going to die. Probably would have to be a Rise or something like that because Varus will be golden for a large amount of time. So
yeah, and also has
killing him.
Knight's Vow and Zeke's Herald. Dang.
Yeah.
That is a lot of protection here for the man who did just complete a quadra kill. His only kills for this game were a quadra kill on the bottom side of the map that was done in very comical style. So beautiful stuff. 7,000 gold going to be the lead here, and that is going to be APK moving over for their 3rd Baron of the game. Is the 3rd one going to be the charm? I guess is the question. Is anyone going to get into the pit? The answer is no, but now will they be able to find the fight? The quickness is going to snare up too, but there is the E landing pretty nicely. Wiser getting into position as well as Ixu trying to find a moment, trying to find that leap of faith to try and get his damage down. There is the ult flash, and the Alawi damage is disgusting. Triple kill instantly, and that's the ace. That'll be the game, and we are going to a game 3, ladies and gentlemen, in our final series of the night.
That we are. As the game did come along, it just looked more and more like AP's comp was going to be unbeatable in team fights, and that's exactly what it did come down to. They forced it there at the 3rd Baron. There wasn't much that BRION Blade could do. They tried to get the Aatrox in on top of them, but the Baron was already taken, so they had the buff, and damn was that Alawi strong, even though it got low. Wasn't really ever in danger of dying as